Good morning. Good morning, beloved congregants and friends. As we move into the holiday season this week, there's probably no better time for us to dive into the exploration of rites, rituals, and traditions. And why is it that they matter to us? Today, we will focus our attention on the human yearning to experience ritual. Whether religious, secular, or spiritual, rituals hold a unique place in the human experience. They bind us together in celebration and connection. An interesting thing about rituals is that they're so ingrained in our experience that often we don't recognize that they are part of our lives or what value they bring. During our seminary experience, which is a 2-year process, our first year was about immersing ourselves in different religions and spiritual traditions and deepening our personal spirituality. Our second year was about embodying what it is to be a minister. Mind you, our dear Pippa was my mentor during those years. So that embodying of what it is to be a minister included how to create and hold rituals extensively. And honestly, I was super resistant to this. I wanted no part of it. I didn't see any reason why I needed to learn this. I didn't see the value, why it would be important. I didn't get it at all. So with resistance, I studied and I did what I was called to do. So now, 10 years later and 200 rituals later, I get it. So what is considered a ritual? A ritual is commonly known as a precise sequence of words, gestures, and actions that follow a norm and in a specific order. For example, religious or spiritual acts, birth celebrations, marriage, funerals, formal events, rites of passage, purification acts. Those are just to name a few. Rituals also, in a way, raising a glass for a toast and blowing out candles on our birthday cakes. There was a tribe in South Africa who, when a member did something wrong, everyone would gather in the center of the village. The guilty party would be marched forward, front and center, and the entire tribe would circle around them. And then one by one, each person, man, woman, and child, would then take turns approaching the offender and list to them all their good qualities. Why is it that we as a species feel the profound need for rituals? Perhaps it's because rituals provide us with a sense of continuity and stability in the ever-changing landscape of our lives. Carl Jung believed that we were badly in need of a symbolic life. And he was known to have said, where do we live symbolically? Nowhere, except where we participate in rituals. Rituals have been an integral part of human existence from as far back as we can explore. They connect us to our past, they ground us in the present, and they offer a glimpse into the possibilities of the future. Rituals are an opportunity to connect us with to connect us to one another, to our best selves, to humanity, to nature, and the world around us. Rituals are more than routines. You may have a morning coffee routine where you have your coffee and read and stretch or exercise. But that's a routine unless you do this. This is done mindfully and intentionally. That'll move it from routine to ritual. This service is a ritual. Every Sunday, our service begins with opening music. We acknowledge who we are, what we're built upon, the, the people whose land we come together and gather on. We light our chalice. And in lighting that chalice, every Unitarian congregation around the whole world is doing the exact same thing, recognizing the light and unity of us, of humanity, and the light that shines within each and every one of us. Along with all the other elements of our Sunday service, it is all intentional, it is all mindful, and it is all ritual. Group rituals give us comfort, give us the comfort of community, solidarity, and shared experience. When people come together to perform a ceremony, often people will dress similarly, like in a graduation or even in a wedding. Everybody dresses up. The bride and groom dresses in the way they are in this tradition. The minister will dress in a certain way. Often in traditions, we sing, we move, we chant, we drum. And we do this in unison, just like we did in our responsive reading. We spoke in unison, we affirmed an affirmation in unison today. There's a sense we get when we speak together or move together. Coordinated movement makes people trust each other more. It releases neurotransmitters that relate to bonding. Isn't that interesting? Participating in collective rituals even increases generosity. So now everybody's going to put so much more money in the plate. It makes people's hearts synchronize when you're in ritual. Your hearts actually start to sync. Your breathing syncs. It has the power to develop cohesive communities. As I mentioned yesterday, Christina Sipaticus's mom had passed away. And I attended her church service yesterday morning, which was held in a Greek Orthodox cathedral. It was extraordinary. And, I'm Eastern Orthodox as well, in the tradition I was raised in. So the ritual was very similar and familiar to me, but not in my language, not in Armenian, as in my background. There were hundreds of people there. And at one point, they all raised their voice in a familiar song, prayed song in Greek. Hundreds of them. And it was so beautiful. It was an extraordinary moment of oneness in support of this family. And so through their deep sorrow, it gave them a moment to comfort them and to elevate them. This coming together. It was interesting as I watched them greet her family, the mixture of laughter and tears, the joy of being welcomed and being recognized they were feeling from each one of these hundreds of people that came forward. And also the moments where they just fell into each other's arms. There was a true witnessing of oneness and support and fellowship and healing, that knowing that all these people care and offer their love and support. Rituals and tradition serve as a universal language that transcends boundaries, brings people together in shared experiences. Whether we light candles for Hanukkah, or decorate a Christmas tree, or celebrate the winter solstice, or engage in other festive practices, these traditions create a sense of community and connection with our past, present, and future. So as in the song Tradition we played in the beginning of the service, there's something about our holiday that keeps the past alive in us. Right? when I put up my Christmas tree every year, and the memories, when I look at the ornaments and I hear the songs and have all those experiences, my parents and my loved ones who are not with me anymore come back to life. They are so present with me. And it's an extraordinary mix, which I'm going to talk about a little more. I'd like to share with you a few ornaments that I brought. Back here, I have 3 ornaments. So on a Christmas in December, at one point back in the early 1960s, my aunt, her name was Shake, my mother's sister, who was like a second mom to me, took me shopping. She said, come on, let's go down to Macy's. And we went to Macy's together, holding hands. I must have been 6 or 7. She said, you could pick out ornaments for your family. And so I picked out this big one here from our mom and dad. And this one's for you, Lionel. This is from my brother. And this little red one, that was mine. And every year, that moment of, gosh, maybe 60 years ago, is as fresh and as alive right now as it was when I was 6 or 7 years old. Their presence is not just in the objects or in the songs. It's with me. It's palpable. And you know, it's a mixed bag that when we have these experiences, we could be very sad, but we could also feel very, very grateful. That is the invitation to bring into mind while we go into these traditions, because as we have them, we have that balance of joy and loss. But in that, to take a little time and recognize how fortunate we were to have had that experience of oneness, of love, of whatever we've had in our family or in the people that we love. They might have been friends or a partner. It remains alive with us. And as the years pass, we create new traditions. You know, for me and my family, I have lots of nephews and nieces. Each year, we hang stockings in a certain way. My niece's husband sends out a daily update of all the hijinks of Elf on the Shelf and what Elf on the Shelf has done and what shenanigans it's been involved in. And we, you know, I play my guitar on Christmas Day. I often bring it up and sing songs with the little ones. And we march around and sing Dominic the Donkey. And, you know, just anything that has a great rhythm that kids love. We have 2 close friends of the family, and they're both Jewish women, a little younger than I. And they have lived their life truly in a secular way, no relationship to religion at all. More recently, both of them, their moms had passed, and both of them started embracing their traditions of their childhood. One now lights her mother's menorah with much intention and ritual every year, and the other now lights her Shabbat candles every Friday evening. Maintaining our love and relationship and awareness of the people that passed before is a very strong part of the human experience. It's very much in the core essence of ritual, is that desire to hold that, to keep that connection alive, that yearning to maintain that. I've led dozens of weddings, dozens of all kinds of services. Weddings, though, particularly, I often will ask them if they'd like this included, and most people say yes. It's a moment where we recognize those who cannot be with us today, but their love for us and our love for them has no end. So we call them into this space to join in this ceremony and this love and this blessing. And there's a deep breath, and there's a sense that happens through the audience. that is so intimate and so special to families. Even in baby blessings, we call on the ancestors, those that are not. During the holiday season, our desire for connection becomes especially palpable. Traditions provide us with a framework to connect with loved ones, friends, and strangers. Whether we're gathering around a table for a meal, singing songs, or participating in acts of service, these rituals strengthen the bonds that tie us together. In a world that often feels divided, the power of holiday traditions lies in these traditions lies the ability to create bridges, to foster understanding, and also empathy. Regardless of religious or cultural background, the shared experience of engaging in traditions allows us to see the common humanity that unites all of us, a very core value of Unitarian Universalism. I find it beautiful and interesting how many of my secular, agnostic, and atheist friends and people in my life engage deeply, deeply in holiday traditions, often ones they weren't even born into. It brings great joy in their lives and it unites them. Whether they believe in the stories of the Torah, the Bible, or the Quran or not, they still engage. And these traditions ground them and their families in love, unity, consciousness, and connection. And is that not the core of spirituality? Right? Holiday traditions carry a profound meaning for individuals and communities alike. They serve as markers in the rhythm of our lives, reminding us of the importance of pausing to reflect, express gratitude, and embrace the spirit of generosity. Whether we find meaning in religious significance of a holiday or the joy in giving and receiving, traditions enrich our lives with purpose and connection. I'm so grateful to those of you who brought holiday little bits of items of your holiday tradition. We have 3 gorgeous menorahs up here from Mickey, from Debbie Links, and also Laura. That's so nice. And they're all so unique and so beautiful. And are they close to your heart, these menorahs?
Very definitely.
Definitely. Would anybody like to come up and just share for a sentence or two about their? Just want to offer you that. There's also these little Santa Clauses up here. Would you like to share about your Santa Clauses?
Sure.
From Cassandra? I'll hold them for you.
Sure. Before these Santas appeared in my house before 2015. I think when I had the family over for dinner, one of them brought these Santas and left them there. I have no idea who brought them. They just showed up. I'm like, where did they come from? But every year I put the mysterious Santas out and decorate them, and now they have a light in them because they have a space for a little candle in the back. But they've been around since before 2015.
The mysterious Santa.
Yeah, I have no idea where they came from.
Thank you. But aren't these stories sweet that become attached to these? And now I'm sure this will be part of the tradition of the Jennings home for many years to come. Yes.
Can I tell a little something? I don't have a menorah story, but I have a Hanukkah story.
Well, I think I wanted to keep it specific to this right now. Thank you very much, though. So in closing, all of the rituals and traditions, behind all the rituals and traditions that we've shared and talked about, there is one word, and I mentioned it before, and I'm going to point it out again. I said it over and over in this service, and it is connection. What's interesting about connection, it's also the only word I use to define spirituality. I want to thank you all for sharing these bits of your traditions today and sharing your attention, and most importantly, for sharing your presence. And in closing, as we leave this service and move into this month of traditions and rituals and celebrations, may we do it with gratitude. May our hearts open a little wider, and may we find more ways to come together to elevate our connections for our own experiences and those for the world around us. Thank you, everyone. May it be so. If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.